Today, we've done a session of brainstorming around issues in our funnel and landing pages. The same brainstorming that I was preparing for yesterday when I was talking about the session recordings and trying to understand them. So, first of all, there was something interesting, or the issues that I've highlighted using the session recordings were valid, and we've seen them in other data sources. So that's one to sum up yesterday. And the second thing, or the main thing that I'm trying to figure out, is how effective are brainstorming, or in what way are brainstorming and sessions of design sprints and anything else are in a highly constrained environment. Meaning, when you're studying or when you're taking a course in product management, and you're starting from scratch, and you're starting to iterate, and you're doing a lot of users testing, and everything is open, and you can change things at the stroke of a pen. Once you start building your product, it becomes harder and harder, not only to change. Maybe to change is even easier than to test. And that's one of the issues that I was struggling today. Is all around you're hearing that Facebook is in constant phase of A/B testing, and others are constant phase of A/B testing. But are they really testing the fundamental issues? And how do you prioritize testing over progressing? Because one of the main things about product management is the need for some role owner or someone to say what things should be built based on data and understandings. But how much how much resources can you invest in testing? And I think I've heard somewhere, I don't know where I read it, but that you should build from the viewpoint and from the starting point of testing. Meaning, anything you build it in a way that you can adjust it quickly to accommodate testing. It's really easy to say than do. And I think that's the main thing about that I'm coming out of the brainstorming. It's not that we didn't have good ideas, but we, as any brainstorming, even if we went out of the office in a matter of gathering data, and we came up with ideas that are valid based on that data, and now we need to test them with users. The thing is that we should, or we would invest a lot of resources to build the different options that we've suggested before we even start to understand if what we understood that the problems are from the data that we gathered and the solutions that we propose are valid. And that's the main thing about it. I think that anywhere, it's one thing to test code changes, it's another thing to test features changes. And I think that's the main thing, because you can, it's easier when you're going down to the building blocks of the code. It's supposed to be easier to test different options because you can, it's really, the dependencies are lower. But once you go to a higher level of the feature of a whole product, of a whole screen, the dependencies and the constraints and the sunk costs are much bigger, that you need to start questioning, is testing, is building this feature to test it really worth the effect that it will have?